basically filming Niners practice before the London game in week 8. Basically,
Hey.
for some reason or another, a little bit of cheating there,
Hey, well, that's perfect for the Raiders, though. I mean, bunch of criminals they are, anyways.
Yeah, right. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Yeah, that's Bill Belichick, dude. That's his
Bill
thing.
Cheater,
You ain't cheating, you ain't trying. Come on now.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. Yeah.
Guys, another episode of Bolt Bros. Ooh,
Bolt Bros.
We actually been talking about this. I mean, since now the AFC West, there's no player or no teams in the playoffs anymore. Chiefs ended up losing to the Bengals recently.
Yep.
Which I think we're all happy about that as being AFC West fans here.
AFC West is officially off season.
Yep. Yeah. See ya. Yeah, we are now in off season here. But we just kind of want to talk about the state of the AFC West because there's a lot of adjustments happening within the AFC West going into the new year. So we just kind of want to talk about the changes of division and the 2022 coaches that are coming in here too. So it's an interesting season for us. I mean, you got obviously the Raiders that ended up going to the playoffs, beating us, but
how did that happen?
Yeah, that was the worst. But lot that I liked seeing out of that game, but there's a lot of holes that were exposed in that game. And then you also got the Broncos too, and then the Chiefs. Obviously, we know where they're at, but we could just kind of get in there and jump in there real quick about it, and let's talk about the Raiders first off.
Okay.
We don't like to talk about the Raiders here.
No, we don't. Nope.
But it is what it is. It is what it is.
It's already it's already putting a nasty taste in my mouth right now. So.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So the new head coach, it's official now, Josh McDaniels.
Yeah.
I find that as a very, very interesting hire. I mean, for the history of Josh McDaniels.
Yep.
I mean, it's funny that he's coming back to the AFC West.
Yeah, I thought that was really interesting too. Yeah,
and he basically did not really succeed at all here.
Right.
First off,
right.
I mean, hired in 2009. He went 6 straight wins to basically end the season 8-8.
Yep.
The videotaping scandal that was involved with that too. Basically filming Niners practice before the London game in week 8. Basically, for some reason or another, a little bit of cheating there,
Hey, well, that's perfect for the Raiders, though. I mean, bunch of criminals they are, anyways. Yeah,
right. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Yeah, that's Bill Belichick, dude. That's
Bill Belichick.
You ain't cheating, you ain't trying. Come on now.
I mean, that's a good point. Yeah.
One of my thoughts though is why didn't they just hire Rich Bisaccia, right? If you think about that. Look, this is part of the problems with the Raiders in general anyways, right? I feel like they always want to get the sexy hire or the Josh McDaniel. Here's the thing. Every time a Belichick coach has moved away and done his own thing, they've never really been good. They've never really been successful.
Right.
And I look at Rich Bisaccia. He killed it last year. I mean, all the scandals that they had, everything that went wrong with that team, and they still made the playoffs. And quite frankly, they're pretty much a mediocre team. I didn't think they were that good in general, right? I mean, the whole defense is ex-Chargers. The defensive coordinator is an ex-Chargers defensive coordinator. And let's face it, Derek Carr is a mediocre quarterback in the NFL at best.
Good, not great.
Yeah, good. I mean, I would compare him to someone like a Alex Smith.
Yeah,
decent quarterback. He's okay, but he really needs a lot of supporting cast for him to be successful.
Right.
So
yeah.
But it is interesting. I mean, he's an excellent offensive mind, but you got to wonder what's going to happen and what's going to happen moving forward with the Raiders. So I don't know. I feel like it doesn't surprise me that the Raiders hired him, but it also surprises me that they're letting someone like Rich Bisaccia go.
I mean, a lot of on social media, actually, a lot of the Raiders fans are an outcry about this. Like they're pretty upset that they didn't go with Bisaccia. Yeah. And also, I mean, apparently a lot of players were kind of like disgruntled about it too. So a lot of them really wanted that consistency to stay there because he turned that team around despite the controversy behind, and got him into the playoffs, like first time in about 20 years. So
exactly.
And I felt like that team was kind of it felt more of a cohesive based team there for a while. Like I felt with John Gruden's team, I felt like Gruden wanted everybody to be these tough, hard-nosed people and just really like FU kind of players, I guess. They just want to be able to like be like these mean team and just have that Gruden, look
Chucky,
to everybody.
The Chucky look.
Chucky look. Yeah.
You look all constipated.
Yeah.
You look all constipated.
And I felt like it didn't work. And I feel like that's, I think when Rich took it over there, I felt like they were a lot more relaxed. They feel like there was a lot more calmer feel to the team to where they could really, really not feel this pressure from this head coach to be like drilling down your throat and just telling you you're a horrible person. And I think I think he really had something good going on there. And I think it's a bad move for the Raiders to not go with him.
Yeah.
Being a Charger fan, as what we're talking about, it in a good way, I almost feel like I'm happy that they hired him because I don't think Josh McDaniels is really the right guy.
Sure.
Yep.
But you never know. Now, the question I have though, are they going to stick with Derek Carr, right? Because Josh McDaniels, I know there was I can't remember where I was hearing or was reading an article about it, but basically they were saying, hey, look, Josh McDaniels wants to have a lights out quarterback. Is Derek Carr really going to be the lights out quarterback? Are they going to trade to get somebody? I mean, again, we can talk about the Broncos. The Broncos, I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves, but obviously Aaron Rodgers is an option.
Yeah.
What if the Raiders could go out and get Aaron Rodgers instead of the Broncos?
Well, I'll say this.
And that's an interesting conversation, right? Because the Raiders are not afraid to spend money.
No.
They've never been afraid to spend money.
Right.
But at the end of the day, boy, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens with them.
Well, I'll say this though too. So as far as coaching goes, that's one side, but then their free agent situation is also similar to ours. They have 26 players that are unrestricted free agents. Well, not all 26 are, but most of them are. And but the biggest thing is though too is they only have $21 million in cap space for next year.
That's all they have.
Yeah, and
difference.
Yeah, and their 2021 rollover is only $300,000. So
wow,
they don't have a whole lot of money to spend, even if they wanted to spend it. So, and I guess Marcus Mariota is one of their top players that's on the unrestricted free agent situation.
Yeah.
Then as far as like maybe the top 5 players you got there is this Nicholas Morrow, linebacker, Jonathan Hankins for defensive tackle, Jalen Reed, running back, KJ Wright. So none of these players are like absolutely. I guess we got Casey Hayward. So I mean that's probably want to. We would love to see him. Go to.
I'd love to get him back in the Chargers.
Yeah, why not?
Casey Hayward was fantastic.
However, he is a bit older now. He's
he is
up there in age, so he might not be as fast as he once was. So they're I don't know. I think they're in a tough spot as far as salary caps go. Anyways, I don't know. I don't know how many draft picks they got either, but I mean, I guarantee they'll probably go for speed or something like that for some wide receiver.
Well, so I would say he probably. They're pretty much stuck. They're going to probably have to go with the team they have now.
Yep.
And just try and build around it, which, again, the Raiders aren't historically, I mean, again, with Rich Bisaccia, they're not historically good at giving people a lot of time to build their team. Right.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate, right? Because, how hard, in a weird way, Josh McDaniels is a person, obviously. How bad would that be if he had another season where he becomes a head coach and gets let go in 1 year? It just turns into a complete disaster for him over again. Because I don't believe in the owners of the Raiders. I think they're like the Cowboys, right? They're such poorly owned owners, they just make terrible decisions, and it's really odd the way that they have managed that team. And so I don't know. It'll be really interesting to see. I'm curious to see how it plays out. Yeah. But boy, how much talent is going to be in the AFC West going to be getting, right? It's going to be competitive. Every single game is like a playoff game now in the AFC West.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, definitely. But I'll say this though too. When it comes to their owners, it doesn't do them any favor to continually blame the NFL for every time they lose. Like, you got own up to your damn mistakes, dude. You guys suck. Straight up.
It's the truth though, right? I mean, how does look, you could always blame refs. Oh, that was a bad call. That was horrible. I mean, perfect example, that pass interference call that we had in the end zone. Yeah, I can understand illegal touching with Chris Harris or something like that, but that should not have been
so far off.
No, that was
and again, bad calls are going to happen, right? But the officiating needs to be fixed, and I think that's going to be stuff that they're going to talk about. So
for sure.
Well, we talked quite a bit about the Raiders, so should we move on to the Broncos now at this point?
Well, one thing I wanted to bring up still about the Raiders though too is that there's a couple things about with the whole hiring of Josh McDaniels that I wanted to point out. Actually, he just talked about it today in his press conference. He said the only reason why I was going to leave, only thing that would make me want to leave New England is it was going to take a special place for me to leave. Yeah. And he thinks, and to me, I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, so the Raiders was the special place to go to? Yeah. But I did hear that his contract, he's getting paid like $10 million a year or something stupid like that.
Wow.
So was it just money or was it something like?
It was 100% just money. Wait, so did they spend 20 million, 10 million, half of their salary cap on just Josh McDaniels right now?
No. Or is that the salary cap doesn't? Yeah, those are player salary caps.
Okay.
Totally different.
Player salary.
Yep. So, but it's crazy to me to think that that was the position that was going to be, the Raiders came calling and I've been wanting them to be able to get to on the phone, and that's where I wanted to end up. I highly doubt that. I still think that's a very good move in my opinion. I mean, especially going into the AFC West, like what Andy was saying, is that this is not an easy division to go into next year. I mean,
no. Absolutely not.
The Broncos are going to be a different team next year. The Raiders, I mean, to be honest, I looked at the salary cap too, and I mean, I think that they could essentially cut Derek Carr and get another $19 million on the books. Yeah. Which it's weird that they would even want to do that, but I do think there's going to be a big quarterback controversy or carousel happening in the league. With a lot of different quarterbacks just moving into a lot of different places. So. I did want to bring up one other point. The win record for Patriots coaches that have moved on to be head coaches is at 41% win percentage. Ooh. So they're not even at a 500 ranking as head coaches statistically and historically when they left the Belichick system. Yeah. And the only one that's really been successful is Mike Vrabel. Yeah. And to be honest, he's won a couple playoff games, but hasn't got a Super Bowl or been to a Super Bowl. So, are we really? Yeah, is that really a success or not? And it seems to be at this moment not really. I mean, he got bounced out, being the first, the number one seed this year, and lost to the Bengals, which are ironically in the Super Bowl now. So
and it just goes to show you that Bill Belichick is really. Just a mastermind, right? And what he's got there, anyone's going to look good there underneath Bill Belichick at the end of the day. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. I think that one to me is a little bit of a head scratcher. But again, it's the sexy pick, right? And that's the Raiders, right? That's what they enjoy. Yeah. And I still think they should have Rich Bisaccia. I just don't even get it.
Well, did they keep Rich Bisaccia as offensive coordinator or anything, or is he still there but he's just not head coach?
Those are the choices that the head coach has got to make. So
you're right.
He interviewed for the Jaguars recently too for their head coach position, which I think he would do really well over there.
Sure. I mean, anyone's gonna struggle over there anyways too, though. So
I mean, it's going to be an interesting situation for the Raiders. That's for dang sure.
Mhm.
And I mean, historically, it doesn't bode very well for most teams that get somebody from the Belichick system. And
Yep.
Yeah.
It's going to be a tough situation, but hey, he's coming in a tough division, so he better be ready to play. So,
Yeah.
Big time.
But maybe that's also why he wanted to come in here. Maybe that was the special situation for him, because this division is so tough, and it does present a huge challenge. And if you can do well in the AFC West currently, then you're in pretty good shape. I mean, because if you can expect to play against the Chiefs 3 times a year, and if you can beat them, then you pretty much already like well ahead of everybody else. So
right.
Exactly.
I mean, just and I've been throwing it out there for quite some time about and once again the Deshaun Watson situation with all those issues that are going on there with all those women that basically came out against him and stuff like that. And it's an interesting situation what's going on there with that, because I do think if he does get cleared by that, and say for instance if there is no sort of suspension or anything like that, I mean, what's not to say that they try to make a big splash play? Being in Vegas, I think you got to roll the dice and be a little bit of a gambler. And what's not to say if the Raiders try to go after Deshaun Watson? Because just to say, and I'll segue this right into the Broncos.
Okay.
Because basically that could lead to thinking where my mind is going on this is, all right, so we got Patrick Mahomes with the Chiefs. We got Justin Herbert with the Chargers. Let's just say the Raiders end up getting Deshaun Watson, and then let's just say, with the Broncos and their new hire there, which obviously Nathaniel Hackett, as their new head coach, has the connections with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
I mean, holy smokes! Think of what that division would be like on the quarterback play. That's a nightmare.
It would be ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
And I think to wrap up, the future's bright. Watch these videos, guys. Definitely subscribe. And Bull Bros are here for you.
That's right.
Here you go, Bull Bros, baby.
Bull Bros.